We sort of danced around this in yesterday's full episode as well, but I want to have a longer form conversation about where does this Illinois roster rank in context with other Brad Underwood Illinois rosters. So I don't want to go back further to like the D Brown era, God forbid the John Gross era. I just want to look at since Brad Underwood has been at Illinois. And this was a very popular question in our Discord over the last 48 hours. Discussion around, is this the most talented version of Illinois ever? And we're not the only people talking about it. There's a Twitter account that I follow from Sleepers called the Illini FN. It's like Illini Fan Nation. And this is a tweet from Illini Fan Nation yesterday. Say what you want about the 2024-2025 Illinois basketball team. Too young, lost too much, no continuity. This is the most talented team Brad Underwood has ever had. We will likely see 3 to 5 pros off this roster, a bunch of prior or current 5-stars with talented vets mixed in. Seems that is a common trait of Illinois fans right now, is the belief that this is the most talented team Brad Underwood has ever had. That surprises me. Does it surprise you?
3 to 5 pros?
3 to 5 pros is what that tweet said.
Any clarification on who those pros are?
No.
No? Okay. It's good doing that exercise in my head. Oof. I'm not the best, at least at my current state. Been a little fog brain the past couple weeks or so. My Illini basketball history, given my slip up on yesterday's episode. My initial answer to that would be no. But as I start going down the roster, maybe you could make an argument that it is. The thing that gets me is a 3 to 5 pro thing. I need that to be fleshed out. I think there's 2 pros on this roster.
Okay, can we talk through them?
3. I'll give 3.
Can we talk through them? Because so then that means 3 to 5 meets the criteria.
Yeah. Okay. I guess the 5's irking me. It's 3.
Who are the 3?
Will Riley, Merez, and Kasparis.
Is there anybody else that even could be?
The streets will try to tell you that Booth can be, but I don't know. That's a lot of potential.
And no Rickhouse?
I don't think so, no.
No. I mean, I would never think Trey White could. Ivisic, I guess, could.
Could, I guess. Like, could, maybe, can. I can't.
Kylan Boswell's just a good college player.
Ty Rodgers is just Ty Rodgers.
If you were going to do the 5 thing, I think it would need to be Kasparis, Merez, Will Riley, Ivisic. I guess Rickhouse? I guess Booth.
Like, can be a pro? Is that what we're saying?
But there's no way there's 5 pros in this
roster. No, there are not 5 NBA players on this team.
No. Are there 3? You actually think there are 3?
I think there can be 3.
So let's say the best case scenario hits and there's 3. Kasparis, Will Riley, Merez all end up in the NBA one day. Does that make this the most talented roster Illinois had in the Brad Underwood era?
No, because I don't know if you can just equate, like, you can be talented and not be an NBA player. Like, there's talented college basketball players that just don't make it in the NBA.
Yeah. Like, I guess this just comes back to, like, how do you define talent? But, like, saying that this roster is the most talented roster you've ever had a month after Terrence Shannon, Marcus Damask, and Coleman Hawkins leave your roster is crazy. Like, all 3 of those guys to me would be the best player on this year's team. How do you lose those 3 and think your roster's somehow way upgraded? And I get Will Riley's probably a one and done. He is really talented. One and done kids like that do not always translate to like good college basketball players. My coach, Juwan Howard, just had like 7 guys come in and out in 3 years, and we were horrible. Like Jen Howard, Kobe Buffkin, who's before him? Like he got Isaiah Livers to the league in a year. Franz Wagner was 2 and done. Caleb Houston, Moussa Diabate. There's 6 guys in 3 years. How many of those guys were good college basketball players? Kurt, 2?
Yeah.
So, and I hear you on like,
Well, but this is where they're gonna push back on that. Brad's not Juwan.
he's not, and I expect more. I do. I expect like this team will win more games than with my coach, who clearly wasn't capable of that. With that said, also Juwan went to an Elite 8. So are we tied? Like,
So are we?
I'm wondering here, and I get it. Like, oh man, it's good to believe in your guys. I can buy. Maybe this team will have the most pros one day. That's also one day. Merez Johnson isn't an NBA guy right now. The freshman version of Merez Johnson is not a pro, and I love Merez. I don't think Hesperis is a pro right now. And I know some people are going to complain about what does On3 have him ranked? Like 59th?
Yeah, 56, I think.
Is the 56th guy in the freshman class a guaranteed pro?
No.
Like I don't get it. I feel like this is disrespectful to TSJ and Damask, number 1, to have this conversation this way. And 2,
Well, you're not even going back to some other Brad's teams.
are we not going to acknowledge the fact that Io DeSumo and Kofi Coburn were on a team together?
With Coleman?
Like
the 2 first-team All-Americans.
I don't get that at all. Like to me, there's no world where this roster is more talented than a team that had both Io and Kofi on it.
I love Illini. I love the Nation. I love ILL, INI. I love Champaign. I love all. I'm gonna chalk this up to this is just you make a second week, you make an Elite 8 and have a great season, and you just want to keep that fun momentum rolling. When I think there needs to just be a little tiny step back, and let's just realize that we lost what we lost. And I say we because I'm clumping myself into that. Yes, there are some guys that have potential on this team. Potential doesn't always reach its ceiling, right? Will Riley could also still be an NBA player and have an awful season this year too. Those things can both happen. So like, I don't know. Why are we just jumping through hoops to say this is the most talented Brad team ever?
Yeah, just like.
So if it is, then like, what shouldn't like this team be like top 15, like winning the Big Ten?
If you want to say could have the most pros one day, I will listen to that. But like, let's just slow the roll on the talent word, and like, because to me that implies this is the best roster he's ever put together, and I don't see that at all. I don't know, man. I don't know. And again, it comes back to like it feels a little disrespectful to the guys that just left you. Like you're losing 2 all-time Illini greats in Damask and Shannon. Coleman, however you feel about him, is fine. He was a great basketball player this past season. Everything else is new and it's fun. I want you to be excited about it. Like, please be excited about this. But acting like it's proven is just scary. To use the words from many of our Illinois Discord members, it's a 2-year plan. Because if this roster is supposed to be his most talented ever, what's it going to look like when Jeremiah Fears and maybe Jasper Johnson get to campus? That's a more talented roster than this roster.
Thanks.
So be excited. This ain't the most anything Illinois roster to me. It's just not. And I think if we fast forward 5 years, you're telling me 3 guys made the NBA from this roster?
No.
How many do you think? Fast forward 5 years. How many get drafted?
From this roster?
This roster.
2.
I think 2 as well.
Yeah.
You want to say the 2?
Will Riley and Merez.
That's my 2 too. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured On the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator, you can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.